We'll give it just a minute here and then we'll get kicked off. All right, well, we'll get started here. People will join as they can. Welcome, everyone. My name's Kevin Vogel. We're going to be going over some new topics today. I got Abby here with me. Hi, Abby.
Hey, Kevin.
And let's just go through this. I know Melissa's probably running a little late. She'll probably join us as the time goes on. We're going to be covering a couple things today. Abby's going to be going over a Teams Captain demo. She's going to show you all the features and everything that Teams Captain will do. And then I'm going to be talking about sensitivity labels, both in documents and Teams and in the different areas where you can use them, what they are, how they work, and so on. So with that, let's get in here and I'll let Abby talk and I'll just run the slides until she goes and does her demo.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Kevin. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's had a great day so far. So like Kevin said, we're going to talk about Team Captain and I'm going to demo it for you guys. So Team Captain provides insights, statistics, and automation to help you manage, govern, spot productivity trends, and secure your company's Microsoft Teams environment. You're able to easily control your team sprawl, easily identify teams by department. There's easy setup and implement team policies, as well as you're able to hold team owners accountable with automated policy-based external sharing reviews. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will jump into the demo. So here I'm inside my Enscape platform and I'm going to click on the Team Captain tile. Give it a second to load up here. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You know, it's Microsoft. It's not us. We actually grab all the statistics live. So it's not like it's yesterday's news or anything like that. We're actually pulling this information right from Microsoft in your environment. So it might take a second here.
That's right. So here is the dashboard for Team Captain. This displays the number of active, inactive, orphaned, new, archived, and monitored teams. You're able to review how many teams are externally sharing data and how many are approved to share that data, as well as review how many internal users are part of those teams and how many are guests. So down below, we have the new inactive teams found. You're able to quickly click on the three dots beside an inactive team and add monitoring to that team, archive the team, or snooze the team. As well below, we have the new orphan teams found. You're able to see which are inactive and which are active. And you can click on the person's icon here, and it'll take you inside of that team where you can look at some more insights for it, as well as go ahead and add monitoring to the team and give it a owner.
So an orphan team, just for the people out there in the audience, means that, for instance, you know, some people create teams and then they leave the company, right? So that team has users or members in it, but they don't have an owner, someone that can add users or change settings or things like that. So when that happens, you either have to promote someone from within the team or add maybe the new manager for that department and add them to the team. Is that right, Abby? Did I get that right?
That is exactly right, Kevin.
And then what's inactive mean? What does that mean?
An inactive team is when a team has been inactive for a certain amount of days, and you as the global admin will get to decide you will get to decide the time frame of when a team would become inactive. So we'll jump into that in a little bit when we get down to the settings, but it's just when the team has been inactive, nobody has been talking in the team or sending any links or anything in the team. It's just totally silent.
And it's adjustable.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then I also want to point out when I say you can add monitoring to a team, this is where Enscape will check some aspects of the teams. For example, they'll notify owners of external shared files and inactivity, etc., and ask the team owner to review those. So then going over to the left, I'm going to click on my teams. Here is where you are able to review team details, which includes the team name, the team owner, team create date, as well as department and apps being used inside of the team. To the right here, you're able to search a team by their name or by the owner's name, as well as the date of when the team was created. And then below are different filters that you are able to select. So for instance, here you can filter through your team orphan, as well as team guest, team activity, so on and so forth. And then we have analyze. Here you can analyze your teams by the most owners, members, activity, external guests, and contributors. You're able to filter this by date, as well as from your top 10 to top 75. So for demo purposes, I'll show you what that looks like. I want to look at my top 50 number of team owners. And then again, you can see your team members, public teams with most members, and so on and so forth. And then we have our team metrics. Here you're able to view teams' productivity metrics to analyze a department or user's activity in teams. You're able to see the number of calls, meetings, and chats. Again, you're able to filter by a user or a department, as well as date. This is also very helpful to help you spot training opportunities for your users. And then you can look at your team devices. This one's pretty cool. So for instance, here I would be able to see if Kevin was using a iOS, a Mac, or a Windows device.
And you know better than that. I wouldn't use an iOS or a Mac anything.
I don't blame you, Kevin. I like Windows. And then you also have your user's usage. So for example, here you can look at me, Abby Madden. You'd be able to see my department, my last team activity, all the way up to calls and meetings I've been in. And then lastly, we have our settings. We have our global policies here. You have your auto enable monitoring. So this automatically empower owners of newly created teams, which we'll jump into that in just a minute. But when automatic monitoring is toggled on, all policies for empowered owners will apply to newly created teams. And then we have our automatic archiving. So auto archive teams that have been inactive for more than, I have mine set as 190 days, but you're able to choose the time frame for this. So you're able to decrease it or increase the days. And if you do make changes, toggle something on or off, I just want to point out to make sure that you hit save. So down below here, we have our Empower Owner policies. The following policies apply to teams in your Office 365 environment. Empowered owners will automatically be contacted and asked to take action based on the time frame you choose. So here you can see 45 days, 10 days, 30 days. That is what it's referencing to when it says the time frame that you choose. You're able to decide what number of days for each of these. So for inactivity, team owners and members are considered inactive if no activity is detected for mindset for 45 days, but you can set it as to whatever you want. Same thing for snooze teams. Snooze teams will not show notifications during the following 10 days. Snooze emails, the option to snooze notifications for a team received by email should be of 5 days. And then down here, you have your external sharing. You're able to toggle this on or off. But automatically ask empowered owners of active teams to review their external sharing links once every 30 days. So again, you decide the number of days for each of these. And then down below, we have our communications. Here we have the email report list. So this is a list of the users that will receive the dashboard report. That report is sent once a month. And then you have your email address to notify. You can add up to 3 people here to receive notifications regarding Team Captain. So that was our quick demo of Team Captain today. I also want to point out that if you want a one-on-one demo for Team Captain, feel free to reach out to me or Melissa, and we're happy to set that up. And then also, if you decide you want to sign up for Team Captain, the global administrator needs to log in and consent to it. And then after they sign up, you would go to your gear icon and go to your global access control to give your users access to Team Captain.
So they don't have to be a global admin to actually work inside of Teams Captain. You can give anyone that you want to manage that environment access.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. That way, because you don't want to put everything on the global admin to do everything. So this gives you the ability to split up responsibilities across all the different applications that we have here. So whether it's productivity insights, whether it's anomaly, you can go in and just give the rights that you want to certain people, and they don't have to be global admin, which is a great thing because you really should keep the number of global admins to a very, very low number. So works perfect. What else you got, Abby?
That's all I had, Kevin. It's all you now.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to grab back control here. So let me just go here. Oh, and we're back. So that was Team Captain. And like Abby said, if you want to get a one-on-one demo and maybe even a little help setting it up and getting things the way you want it, please just call us. We'll be more than happy to help you. That's what we do every day for customers. We use it all the time. So maybe we can give you just a couple helpful hints as we go along. So let's talk about sensitivity labels because it's something that a lot of people have heard about. Not a lot of people have deployed yet. So I thought it'd be a great thing just to go over them. Well, first of all, what is a sensitivity label? Now, these are stamps that you can put on different things like documents, teams, containers. If you're looking for just one of the containers inside of your, let's say, Azure environment, you can put sensitivity labels in there. They can be customizable, so they can be specific to your organization. You can create categories, different levels of sensitivity. So whether it's things for like personal information that you only want for yourself, or something that's really highly confidential that doesn't leave your corporation, general, public, all those type of things. You can set these different categories and then give these documents, information, these labels to really help you make sure that the right people get to see the information, but only the right people. And then you can use clear text. So this label can be stored in clear text, metadata for files and emails, third-party apps, and services can read it and then apply it to protect those actions. So really easy for you to use this, whether it's inside of Office 365 or third-party applications. And then you can do it as a persistent metadata on all files and emails. You can set up labels that go on there. I think you'll see I have a couple of demos here, so you get to see what it's actually going to look like. So for instance, this is a spreadsheet. So you can go in here and actually give just a certain cell a sensitivity label. So if you only want certain information in this, for instance, spreadsheet, the ability for people to see it, but other information that's in here, they wouldn't be able to see it. So when they're viewed by users, sensitivity labels will appear as a tag on that file, for instance. So all the documents and emails can actually go in and you can classify them. You can see the different categories that I have here are public, general, confidential, and highly confidential. And then inside of those labels, I can dictate who can see this information and who can't see this information. So there is some setup involved. You do have to make sure that you configure this, but once you do, it's very easy for end users to use these and make sure that the information that they're giving access to is viable for those people. So it's a great way to really lock down your information and not give the information to people that you don't want to have it. So here's what they can be used for. So they can provide protection and encryption for information in an email or a document. You can actually put a banner on it that says confidential, a watermark they call it, but it's actually a banner that goes across the document that says this is highly confidential or confidential information. You can protect content in Office applications across different platforms. So whether it's Mac or iOS or Android, you can use it for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, all those Office applications, and even on the web. So if you're viewing this document with maybe like Outlook on the web or Word that's running in a web browser, those protections will follow the document no matter what you're using as a client. You can even use this for third-party applications and services. So by using Defender for Cloud Apps, with Defender for Cloud Apps, you can detect, classify, and label content in third-party applications and services. So for instance, if you have information in Salesforce or Dropbox, and you want to make sure that those sensitivity labels go across those applications, by using Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, you can do that. So there is an extra license involved when you're talking about third-party applications. So if you're protecting containers, and what we mean by containers is things like Teams or SharePoint sites or Microsoft groups, you can set up privacy settings for that whole Teams environment or for a specific team in there. And then if you're allowing external use, this will restrict what people can get to see, even in unmanaged devices, meaning devices that are not part of your network, maybe a vendor or a customer or someone that you're sharing this document with will only be able to see the information that you allow. You can extend these labels to Power BI. So if you're using Power BI to display dynamic information, let's say in a team or a website, you can actually protect the data that's sensitive based around the login that person is using. If they don't use a login, obviously they're only going to get certain information. If they log in, they'll get more information based around their login. So, and you can extend this into Azure like we talked about. So if you're using Azure Preview and you're using things like SQL or, I don't know, a Cognos or even AWS, if you're using RDS in AWS, you can actually have sensitivity labels as long as you're using cloud apps. Like I told you, you have to use Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps to be able to do that. And then you can classify content without using any protection settings. So you can just simply assign a label as a result of classifying the document. And this provides users with a visual mapping of classifications to your organization. For instance, label names, how they're generated, usage reports, all those type of things, especially when we talked about Power BI. This is something that actually goes across that Power BI platform. So let me go to the next slide here. So what can they do? First of all, they can encrypt emails and documents and prevent unauthorized people from accessing the data. which is what we're trying to do here. You can additionally choose which users or groups have permissions to perform actions and for how long. So in other words, copying the information, forwarding the email to someone. So for example, you could choose to allow users in your organization to modify a document, while a specific group or other organization can only view it. So that's up to you. And you can use encryption settings to create and edit sensitivity labels and restrict access to content by using encryption in your sensitivity labels. You can also mark the content. Now, when you use Office apps by adding watermarks, headers, footers, things like that to an email or a Word document, you'll see that it really does highlight that this is a highly sensitive, highly classified document that you don't want to share with other people. So I think I have a little, yeah, here's just a view of a document. So you can see on there, highly confidential is right across the top and at the header of the document, so that when you're reading this, you know that this is a document that you shouldn't forward, that you shouldn't share with other people. It stands out, and you can make sure that this type of information is on the documents that you're sharing with internal people, but they know not to share it externally. So it really is something that you can do pretty easy. So when you're creating these label scopes, and whether it's for files or emails, if you're using groups or sites, or if you're using schemas from things like SQL or Azure SQL or Cognos, all of these things can be done at the click of a button. And those label scopes are created inside of the environment. You can set them up prior to you doing this. And the scope configuration lets you have sensitivity labels that are just for documents and emails and can't be selected for containers. Containers being things like a SharePoint document library, a team, things like that. And similarly, sensitivity labels that are just for containers can't be selected for documents and emails. So you can actually go in and define what the sensitivity label is used for. Pretty easy, pretty simple to do. It does take some setup, don't get me wrong, but once they're set up, it's really easy for end users to use the sensitivity labels. If you look back here at the document, up here in the top right-hand side, you'll see that sensitivity is an option. Once you turn this on, once you have things configured, sensitivity will actually be in the top right-hand side of your documents, whether it's a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint, Outlook, whatever it might be. You can click and then say which one of those labels you want to apply to that document. Pretty easy to do. And then when you're doing groups and sites, you can go in and encrypt files and emails, and you can go in and just do files. So you could actually mark the files that are in there, and you could see you can add custom headers and footers, watermarks right to the document, and do them exactly the way that your corporation wants them. So we'll be more than happy to help you set up sensitivity labels, make sure you have the right licensing to be able to do it in your environment. If you're running the M SKU, the Microsoft 365, like E3 or E5, you're going to have these things available to you. So if you need help, just give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you with those things. So I think that's my last slide. Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to have 2 more this month that we're going to be covering things, what to do when an email gets compromised. And I know Melissa and Abby are going to be running through those. They're also going to be showing you how to do bulk operations in Inkscape and Manage. So real great way to boost productivity. And then a Q&A session, because we know the new commerce experience, is a little bit confusing. We want to make sure that you guys know everything there is to know. And we're going to have a nice Q&A session with some experts that will walk you through whatever questions you might have. That's going to be next Tuesday. And then the last Tuesday of the month, we're going to show you 3 new features in Teams: transcriptions, Outlook integration, and emailing a document link, a video, etc., in a chat message. So a couple quick, nice, easy things to make you more more productive in Teams. And then we're going to show you how to access an invoice. We're going to show you the updating billing address and how to add coworkers to get a monthly bill. And I know that Melissa and Abby are going to take care of that. And then we think this new commerce experience is really important. So we're going to open it up again to a Q&A session. So let me just see if there's any questions that we have here. Anything come in? Nope, I don't see anything. So with that, I hope this information, was what you were looking for. I know, Abby, you did a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
And like I said, you can reach out to Abby, Melissa, myself, or anyone over here at the MessageOps Sirius CDW team. We'll be more than happy to help you with anything you're looking inside of Microsoft. This is what we do on a daily basis. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.